Where are the Galapagos Islands?
Hello, my name is Klaus Filch and I'm Product Manager for Metropolitan Touring. So where are the Galapagos Islands? The Galapagos Islands is a group of 19 volcanic islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, about 600 miles or 1,000 kilometers straight out of Ecuador, in the middle of the Pacific. So to get to the Galapagos Islands, you have to fly through Ecuador. There's no other option. So you have direct flights from North America, from Central America, from South America, from Europe, flights that go directly to Quito or Guayaquil.
What kind of expeditions can I do in the Galapagos Islands?
So when you come to the Galapagos Islands, this is a place for expeditions. And there's two types of expeditions. One is land-based on a hotel, and the other one is based on ships. Now, Galapagos was born as a nature, travel, sustainable tourism destination back in the late 60s. The ideal concept was to do it by boat initially. That's the ideal way to see the Galapagos Islands. The best way to differentiate the type of cruises you have in Galapagos is by how many guides will I have on board of a vessel. Having more guides makes a world of a difference. For one thing, you can split by language. You don't have to listen to the guide say everything in one language and then repeat everything in another language. Second thing, if you have guests that are more active, these guests may be able to do the entirety of the walk at a very light pace, still get to come back on board and then go out snorkeling, and will have more time to be able to snorkel. The other option you have in Galapagos is hotel-based, and this may be very, very interesting. One word of advice: if you're spending time on an expedition cruise, perhaps you want to combine it with also some time in a hotel.
What kind of hotel in Galapagos can you recommend?
The Finch Bay Galapagos Hotel is one of those hotels that has its own yacht and will give you access to the national park. We have two naturalists on board. We have a large area for change clothes. We have lockers where you can leave your things. There is wetsuits, masks, fins, snorkels, all the paraphernalia you need for snorkeling. It has a legendary cuisine. It has an expedition leader and a hotel manager, which means that if you go into the Galapagos because of wildlife, we can also be able to tune in as fine as possible to be able to meet your interests. The Finch Bay Hotel is located in one of the areas of Ecuador which is 100% pedestrian, and it's the only hotel on Santa Cruz Island that has a beach in front of it. It's not a private beach, but it is a beautiful beach just a few steps away from our swimming pool.
Where can you eat in the Galapagos Islands?
The gastronomy of Galapagos includes a lot of seafood. And on the Finch Bay restaurant, for instance, you get the catch of the day. You have some amazing groupers that are extraordinarily tasty, but there's more than that in Galapagos. So by all means, try the seafood and try the legendary cuisine of the Finch Bay Hotel. In addition to the catch of the day from the local fishermen, Finch Bay also has a chef's garden where we grow a number of vegetables, and La Chacrita. This has become one of our guests' favorite because they can go there and harvest. It's a lot of little plants that grow in confined areas very close to the ocean and bring fresh additions to your table, to your drinks, and to your buffet.
What to do in the Galapagos Islands?
So once you come to the Galapagos Islands, keep in mind this is a volcanic archipelago. It has no rivers, which means that the waters are remarkably clear and clean for most of the year, which means that snorkeling is a fantastic option. If you are a non-snorkeler, very few vessels will give you the dry snorkeling, as some of the guides like to call it, and that's a glass bottom boat. So that the glass is literally underwater, so that when you're looking down you can see the ocean underneath. You also have a canopy on top that protects you and casts sufficient shadow so you can see what happens underwater, and you have a naturalist that will be able to tell you what you're looking at and what are the names of the fish you're looking at. The other option you get is kayaking. Now in Galapagos, because the oceans are remarkably calm, the kayaks you have are sit-on-top kayaks, which is the basic and the simplest form of kayaks. Literally, you sit on top and you start paddling. The national park also allows paddleboarding, and all of the guides will tell you all the rules that you need to know before you go kayaking or paddleboarding, because you will be doing this in natural areas and protected areas. Hiking is perhaps the most important activity in Galapagos. Normally on the ship, after breakfast, you go on shore, you do a hike. Most of them are anywhere between 1.5 to 2.5 kilometers long. Most vessels will provide also walking sticks. And make sure that if your vessel has sufficient guides, then you will have also the option of perhaps a shorter walk, or maybe an optional boat ride that may be offered instead of one of the more demanding hikes.
Top islands in Galapagos.
If you're planning to go to the Galapagos and you don't know which islands should be in your list, we can give you the 7 top islands of Galapagos, and these are, in no particular order: Fernandina, which is the youngest island of Galapagos, and it's also one of the most active volcanoes in Galapagos. Fernandina is also one of the largest islands in Galapagos that has never had introduced species, so it makes it a very special place within the national park. And you will find some of the richest oceans when you go snorkeling there, and whenever you're in the vicinity of Fernandina, there's a good chance you might be able to see whales. Isabela, which is right in front of Fernandina, is very similar. It also has very lofty volcanoes. They're very active as well. And the combination of wildlife and landscapes makes this a perfect addition or combination with Fernandina. Another one of the top islands of Galapagos is Española, which happens to be the oldest island of Galapagos, and it's the only place on Earth where the waved albatross nests. Española also has the most colorful marine iguanas, and it has colonies of blue-footed boobies, Nazca boobies, and hawks. Genovesa is a very interesting island, because although it's very small and flat and it doesn't look very important, Genovesa was never connected to the Galapagos plateau. That means that during the ice ages, this place can only be reached whether by flying there or swimming there. That means that you will not find terrestrial animals on Genovesa. Genovesa is also the largest colony of red-footed boobies in the world. North Seymour is right on the center of Galapagos. It's very close to the airport, and it's not so far from one of the inhabited islands, Santa Cruz. It's one of the most beautiful places to see the red inflated balloons of the frigates. It's also a colony of the elusive fur seals. You have sea lions, you have blue-footed boobies, Nazca boobies, and land iguanas. Another nice set is Santiago and Bartolomé. In some of the places of Santiago, you can see the fur seals. These were hunted almost to the extinction until the national park came. This is the smallest pinniped on Earth, and it is an adorable sea lion that you can swim with. It also has penguins, and recently, due to the efforts of conservation of the Charles Darwin Research Station and the National Park Service, the once extinct land iguana is now dwelling again on Santiago. Next to it is Bartolomé. And Bartolomé is a remarkable place. This is like an open book in geology. Almost every volcanic feature you can expect to find on a volcanic hotspot like Galapagos can be seen on the trail that leads you to the summit of Bartolomé. From there you're looking down to the Pinnacle Rock, and this is the most photographed spot of the Galapagos Islands.
What about Galapagos National Park fees?
Going to the Galapagos Islands also include an entrance fee. This entrance fee is paid only once when you go there. Whether you're going on a hotel or on the ship, it's the same fee. And this fee is very important because it has allowed the conservation of Galapagos. When you look at Galapagos prices, avoid going to the budget. If you travel all the way to the islands and you're going budget, you will miss a lot. 4 out of 5 people traveling today to Galapagos stay in towns and never enter the national park. 1 out of 5 travelers goes on boat and they come back absolutely mesmerized by their experience with the wildlife at Galapagos. I hope you have found this video helpful. If you have more questions, you can fill the form or you can chat with our destination experts. We hope to hear from you.
Metropolitan Touring.